Good evening, Board of Education, staff, parents, grandparents, friends, alumni, and most importantly, class of 2014. I'm honored to be part of this evening's
Stop eating pizza then.
to share with you the celebration of your graduation. Class of 2014, we're all very proud of you. I'd like to welcome you tonight on behalf of the Reeths Board of Education. President Kim Kelly, Vice President Mike Reeths, Secretary Bob DeMiro, Treasurer Mary Schaub, Trustee Doug Brown, Trustee Kathy Zoll, and Trustee Susan Blackburn, Reeths Board of Education. Class of 2014, I've had the pleasure to watch many of you, all the way from Acuna to Zepho, perform in choir and band concerts, plays, athletic contests, and in the classroom. Through all these activities, you've helped set new standards of excellence for other classes to emulate. You've added to the excellence of the Reeths Public Schools. I'd like to take a moment and thank all the people on the way in the last couple of weeks that have been concerned and asked me about my current situation. And you know what? I actually wish I had a better story. Typically, it doesn't go very well. People say, hey, what happened to you? I say, cage fighting. And people look me up and down and say, all right, they press me for a few more details. I say, well, my story is this. It was the 5th round of my first professional MMA fight, and the guy had no chance to go for my Achilles. And that doesn't go very well either. But I want to tell you that my story actually isn't very special. The logistics of my story isn't nearly as exciting, because here's what happened. I turned 43, I gained 20 pounds, the weather was 39 degrees, the water was 34 degrees, and I ran at full speed. So, I think my Achilles actually is still laughing as it thinks about that situation. The reason I bring it up is because very soon you're going to be asked a very similar question. Someone's going to be at your open house or another event, and they're going to say, how'd you get here? How'd you become a high school graduate? And you're going to wish you had some very exciting, tall story of overcoming insurmountable odds to share. You're going to wish that you could spin a tale about how you, in spite of being subjected to day-long screen time since your birth, or always hearing about, that sentence that we hear, kids today, that you have persevered until the very end. But much like my story, you're actually going to find yourself concluding that the logistics of how you got here tonight, the logistics themselves weren't all that special. And indeed, they're very predictable. Your grandma's going to say, grandson, tell us how you did it. Tell us how you became a high school graduate. And if you're honest, most of you are going to say, Grandma, when I turned 5, Mom and Dad dropped me off to kindergarten. While I was in kindergarten, I did everything the teachers and my parents said. And the next year, they let me go to first grade. And we did that a total of 13 times, and here I am tonight sitting in Nelson Walker. But the fact is, while the logistics are really predictable, it's the story of each of you that makes tonight special. It's the choices you made. It's the grades you earned and the friends you chose. What's special is the person you become, not necessarily the outcome of 13 relatively predictable years. What's special is the perseverance, dedication, and relationships you built with staff, friends, teammates, your family, while you struggled and succeeded. Tonight I have a challenge for you, then I've got something else. But first, the challenge. In spite of being special, life isn't always going to treat you that way. And I want to relate that with a quick story. One day, a commanding officer in Emperor Napoleon's army requested an audience with Napoleon. And Napoleon knew what was coming, because the guy was pretty full of himself. But as every good leader must, Napoleon agreed to listen, and he listened politely. The commanding officer told a great story of this incredible victory that he had led. And he talked for a long time about his accomplishment. He piled detail upon detail. Napoleon listened closely, but he said nothing. The officer was very disappointed. He had hoped for a more enthusiastic reception. He wanted Napoleon's congratulations. Neither was forthcoming. Summing up, the marshal repeated much what he had already stated. As the officer rambled on, Napoleon continued to listen politely. And the marshal interpreted this as encouragement. Surely, he thought, Napoleon will now give me the praise I deserve. When the marshal finally stopped talking, Napoleon asked him one question. He said, "This happened 2 months ago. What have you done since?" And if you don't believe Napoleon's story, I want you to try something. Tonight, or most of you are going to the all-nighter, so maybe tomorrow, I want you to go with Meyer in your full cap and gown. And I want you to walk into Meyer, I want you to loudly proclaim, all dressed up, say, "I'm a high school graduate." Tomorrow, we're going to give you a resounding applause. 2 months from now, we're going to look at you a little bit funny. 2 years from now, we're probably going to call security. So tonight, celebrate. Tomorrow, get back to work. What you've done to this point is exactly what your parents and what you have expected of you. To expect any less would have been selling you short. When I was your principal in 7th grade, I expected to see every single one of you here tonight. What's truly special is what you do next. The first 18 years of your life have been relatively scripted by your parents, your school, and your society. People who care about you, but aren't you. What you do next is scripted only by you. Now's your chance to be the special that you want to be. So I gave you a challenge. Now if I could offer you one piece of advice tonight. As you go forward, you don't have to be fearless, but you can't let fear stop you. How do you prevent your fear from stopping you? You run to the roar. I'm going to explain that by sharing a quick nature story. In the African savannah, lions have finely tuned their hunting methods over thousands of years. The oldest lion, in pride, heads to the far end of the corridor. There, he lies in wait while the younger lions hide for the ambush. When the young lions are ready, the old, now toothless, and very slow male lets out a tremendous roar. The best way for the gazelles to survive is to run directly into the roar, right into the old, toothless male. But instead, the gazelles run from the roar right into the waiting ambush. Believe it or not, you're going to have these situations in your life where the fear of the roar will cause you to want to retreat, to run away from that initial scare. My challenge to you is to run directly
Wait,
into
who are
the
you
roar.
talking about?
Find things that most frighten you and stand directly in the
What
way
about
of your
him?
What's his
success,
last name?
your dreams, and your passion.
Ballard?
Run into it. Remember, you don't have to be fearless. Just don't let your fear stop you from becoming what you can. Don't just do what makes you happy. Don't just do what's easy. Do what makes you great.
Do you not see
Run
how
to the
long
roar.
this has been?
Congratulations, class of 2014.
I told you we could have come at 7:30 and Scott saw her.